if you want to, you can just turn on your thumbnail because all we see is your computer screen, Thomas.
Yeah,
If you,
it keeps saying unable to load the conversation and all the kind of stuff, and error messages keep coming up.
okay, yeah. If you just want to, there should be an option where you could just turn the video off.
Huh? Oh, the computer.
Not yeah, well, just yeah, it should be an option where you could turn the video off on the top. So, but everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Samir Search for a Huru, and I have the brother Thomas Cooper, brother Mike Olawale with us today, and we're going to be discussing today's topic is how can Black America add value to Africa? What can Black America bring to Africa that's beneficial? Um, I have a brother from Liberia, brother from Nigeria, and guys, I mean, tell us, I guess, give us some input on what Africa needs and how Black America could fill that void, I guess. Because the reason why I started this platform was because topics like this, I would see Black Americans having yeah, topics like Thomas, you can do me a favor and just mute yourself real quick. Topics like this, I would see Black Americans having, but not including Africans, which is weird. So you can't have a Pan-African discussion without having people from across the continent in the diaspora having this conversation. So, Mike, we'll go ahead and start with you. What can Black America bring to Africa and add value to Africa?
Uh, you're right, man. See, people don't understand one thing, man. Like, whatever you have to do in life, the number one thing is the spirit. Do you have the right spirit for it? And you have the right mentality for it, right? Now, I'll tell you, people always say, oh, you don't have, you're doing this. Listen, the spirit you have in one environment, it's not working with an environment. That spirit, the same spirit, can, in a different environment, can do way better. If the spirit is not working in one environment, doesn't mean the spirit, the attitude is wrong, right? But a different environment, that spirit will try. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Many, you mentioned before, whenever you say Black American, you say some stupid some African will comment like, oh, if you can't do get it right in America, how you gonna get it right in Africa? That's right. A stupid comment because the dynamic of America is different from the dynamic of Africa, I always say. Now, the spirit that a Black American person has, right, is a spirit that, hey, I know my enemy is white supremacy, right? And I understand it very well, even no matter what. Nothing tell me about that, man. Black America is consciously aware of racism, like the trust. It's not only Black America, just diasporans. Because of your history, you understand that, hey, I cannot really trust Europeans very well, and I'm not really. I need my space. You understand? I need my space. I need my environment. Though the mentality may not be working here because America is trying to. America is trying to be. They're trying to be a country where, hey, let's move on. Let's forget racism. Let's ignore it. That's it. Right. Because you guys are you're not the ones in power. So that's not working. There's so much like that. That's against that. So I would say in America, yeah, because of that mentality, Black Americans seems to be creating more enemies for themselves, and maybe I won't say it's because of that mentality, just because of situation, circumstances. But if you bring that same spirit into Africa society, that, hey, I understand that I cannot trust white people because of what they've done in the past, and I have it in me, consciously, on a constant basis, right? Which Africans don't have. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if Black Americans are now in Africa politically engaging Europeans as far as deals, you're not going to engage them looking at them as these superior people or these people that know better. You will be conscious that, hey, you cannot come in We gotta sit down, man, because I know my history, man. I know what you've done to me in the past. So, hey, I don't see you as I see you as a friend. I see you as a business partner. I don't see you as a friend. You understand? You guys really have that in you. That no, I don't hate you, but and again, I'm not preaching that black American should hate people, hate white people. That's not what I'm saying. That's not my preaching. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have telling me that Mike, when you Nigerians not known to be racist or even racist, I'm not being racist. I'm just dealing with reality. I'm just dealing with what's going on, the facts of reality of what we're in. So black Americans and the diasporans, you guys know your history, and your history is very present in your mind. You don't see a white person and see them as people you have to just, you don't see them as best friend. I'm not saying you're seeing them as enemy, but you don't see them as people that you trust completely. But it's not the case in Africa. Understand? In Africa, we have so much trust that when Europeans come to Africa to sit on a table to make deals, you can see the Africans so intimidated that they just let them get away so much. You understand? But that's what I'm saying. So the spirit of the African is not working for Africa. But when Africa bring the spirits that they have, where they trust white people and they bring that spirit to America. That's why they succeed in America, because that spirit of being submissive to whites can work in a white country. You understand? Where you allow them get away with you allow them to feel that they're in control, and when you allow them to feel that way, they're comfortable with you, and you can find a way to maneuver to succeed around them. So the Africans, with the spirit they have, when they bring it to the, it's not working in Africa, but it will work when they move to a white society. But the black American, the spirit you have, it's not going to work for you in a white. But that spirit definitely will work in a black and rural society. You understand? So that's one. Two, in Africa, for example, in respective countries, right? Over the years, much mistrust among people from different tribes, right? Like, for example, if I go to Nigeria, right, and I come up with an idea, I have a solution to all the problems. Start engaging Nigerians. Say, listen, man, I have a solution. I can solve problems. Guess what my fellow Nigerians going to tell me? They'll be like, oh, you're Yoruba, we can't trust you. An Igbo person will say, oh, that guy's Yoruba. Oh, we've had a Yoruba person in the past, and who knows, or we can't trust Yoruba, or an Igbo person. So we already have a tribal mistrust in the political area. I'm not saying tribes hate each other, but politically, from history of corruption and things that's happened, and the wars that has happened in the past, there's so much sense of mistrust in among people as far as following one another. But when the diasporans come over there, if you was to come to Nigeria right now and start proposing ideas or proposing something, nobody's gonna accuse you of, oh, you from this tribe. They're gonna see you as, okay, it's not someone that has a history of tribal conflict in the past, or somebody coming from outside, somebody neutral. They will listen to you. You get it? They will listen to you. So some what I'm trying to say is the spirit that the diasporans have and the mentality as far as the way they view the world, the way from your experience, you can come to Africa and use that spirit, that sense of mistrust you have for Europeans. That sense of, because Africans, the biggest problem they have, the trust for Europeans, and Europeans are getting away, just robbing the continent because they trust them so much. I mean, you turn on your TV, man, Discovery Channel, you see a white man all over the jungle, just all over, killing the animals and doing whatever continents. They're doing this animal studies and African science. I can't go to Europe and start doing studying on the environment. They're not going to allow me to do that. You understand? I cannot go to European society and start doing studies on their environment and whatever I like. But Europeans can come to Africa and just do whatever they like. But if Black Americans were to own a country for example, let's say Black Americans, people in the government in a country in Africa, and some Europeans say, "Well, come do something." You be like, "Hey, I don't trust you, man. The last time you came here, man, you enslaved my people, man." You guys have that. You understand that. Hey, I would be here, and I know what you've done to my people, man. You lynched my people in the 50s. You were angry my people. Allow me to your neighborhood. You already have that. You already know the nature, the extreme because you guys grew up around, so you know white people very well.
Hey, hold on 1 second. There's like an echo in the background. Thomas, are you playing the video?
Yeah, I hear the echo too.
Are you playing the video by chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can mute the playback. Yeah, I get it. Are you playing the video by chance? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, mute the playback, Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wherever you're watching, you got to mute the playback.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mike. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So you guys already have that. You guys have the right mentality and the right spirit. And people are doubting the diasporans. No, because they're not doing well in the society they're in. Of course, the spirit that you have, the sense of mistrust for white people, will not allow white people to really trust you. Like in America, for example, white people don't really trust African Americans because a lot of them are afraid, because a lot of them know that African Americans still pissed off about what happened to them in the past. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole lot of sense of mistrust that, oh, this black person is holding something against me, and I have to I have to slip around there one high hoping. You understand? I have to be careful. So white people have that sense of mistrust, whereby that's why they do a lot of things to kind of push black people away from them, African American away from them. But when foreign blacks, especially the Africans, when they're gonna come into the white society, they don't express that kind of sense of, I'm holding something against you. I'm holding something against a white man. You understand? That's why whites are comfortable with Africans when it comes to their society. You understand? Even though I'm not saying they like Africans, I'm not saying they wish Africans to succeed, but they a little bit more comfortable with Africans in their midst. With that comfort, they're able to like not keep the eyes of Africans. So when they keep the eyes of Africans are able to navigate their way and find way to go after whatever they want and achieve it. You understand? But with a Black Americans or diasporans, maybe Caribbeans, you guys have your sense of history, and you guys always, especially Black Americans, you always express it. You guys constantly express your anger of the past. We sometimes I think Black people should chill out on that, because you're not helping yourself a lot. Because if you keep constantly letting people do something against them, they're gonna you're making it worse for yourself. But I think you shouldn't forget it, remember it. But I think you're creating unnecessary enemy for yourself. You understand? I think it's a problem. I talk to a lot of African Americans sometimes. Like, listen, man, stop approaching white people and constantly telling them that you hate them because of the past. Because I understand history is there for you to learn a lesson from and remember your past, but don't start acting out and becoming this angry person, constant or always angry, because that will make people not want to deal with you. And in this, if you're gonna share society with people, you really have to get along. You have to find a way to get along. I'm not saying you have to trust or be coon or whatever you guys call it, or Uncle Tom. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to get along with your neighbors. And hey, I'm not saying you have to trust, but know your history and understand. Like, I know American history. I mean, I'm more like a Black American. I study your history, so I have my mistrust for white people so strong. But I have white friends and I have white neighbors, and I get along with them. You understand? And whatever they disagree with me, I let them know. Listen, this is my fact. I don't hate you, but I stand for PanAfricanism, and I look out for my people. But I'm not holding evil against you, because you're not directly responsible for whatever happened in the past. So I don't hate you. So I smile to my white neighbors. I talk to them. I greet them. I have conversation with them. I don't let them. I also don't hide the reality. If they want to know about me, I let them know. Listen, man, this is what's going on. This is what I let a lot of my white friends know what's going on. What white supremacy is doing in Africa. All this thing, I let it out. But I get along with it. I let them know my heart. I don't hate you as an individual, because I don't benefit from hating you. You're not taking anything from me. You're not taking anything out of my plates. And I need to get along with my neighbors. I need to get along with people I share community with, because I have to do business with you. I have to work with you. I have to work in a same place of employment with you. So I cannot be letting you think that I hate you because of the past, especially because of history. But if there's something you do right now to me, I'll let you know, hey, I hate you for this that you did. You should have conscience for that. But there's no way you can make an individual white person today feel guilty of what happened in history. They're not going to feel guilty, trust me. By you constantly rubbing into them, they're only going to have a reason to not trust you and be looking out for you. And if someone is approaching you with that kind of attitude, they might have the potential to want to destroy you as well. So that's a negative side of Black American having that energy of anger of the past in them. But the energy of the anger of the past, if they take it to the continent, oh my God, white people will not have a chance to come into the continent to steal or be controlling shit. You understand? That's why I keep saying I ought to engage the diasporans to come to the continent to come change things, because you guys have the spirit and the energy that the African needs. The energy to sit down with the white people and say, okay, let's negotiate. You cannot come in and take my shit, man. You cannot come in and take my resources. You cannot come to be controlling the African Union. You cannot come here and be making me your puppet, because you guys already have your, the energy of you've done this to me in the past, and you owe me a lot, So that energy is what Africa needs, man. The diaspora energy. You get it?
Got it. Hey, so Thomas, do you want to jump in and
Sure, yeah. D, thanks for having me on the show. I've been having problem with my computer setup.
It's okay.
I mean, but listening to Mike, and just to add to what he's been saying, I think African Americans can bring a whole lot to the mother's land, and like he talked a little bit about colonialism, you see, and I think we Africans don't have problem with colonialism anymore. Like colonial rule, I believe, should be for the history book. You see, it shouldn't be a major discussion in Africa. You see, but what should be made clear is or what Africans need, the message Africans need to send is to let our colonial masters and so forth know who's in charge. You see, Africans should be in charge, and to further state the fact, along these lines of adding value to the African setting, African Americans, we all know the history, have been taken from Africa. Some were sold by their own people actually, and some were taken by foes, and brought to these shores 400 plus years ago, and all of that. But African American has the education, they has the values, there are a lot of stuff I believe they can bring to Africa and contribute that will that will blend in with leaders in Africa and governments in Africa. I mean, to raise Africa up to a better standing worldwide. You see.
So let me ask you this, Thomas. Somebody in the chat room said that we're just going to cover pretty much all the questions for the most part and all the objections, I guess. Africans don't trust Black Americans. What will be your response to that, Thomas?
Well, my response is Dana. You see, if an African person say they don't trust Black Americans, it's a lame excuse. It's a lame excuse. I think it's a lame excuse. African Americans most African Americans has all it takes to transform Africa and African as a whole. They have it, and it's not all about the situation of trust. You see, okay, take for instance, look at Africa. The African people don't even trust a lot of their own leaders.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They don't even trust a lot of their own leaders. Some of them are not happy with the leaders. Take for instance, look at few years back. Look at Zimbabwe. They weren't happy with Mugabe. He had been in power for over 30 plus years. They weren't even happy. He wasn't even doing anything. And look at recently the situation in Kenya. You see, we had Uhuru having problems, you know, with opposition leaders and all the kind of stuff. I mean, and all those things kind of like take from developing Africa to a more uh, developing Africa to a more like first class or a second class state where uh, 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 things in life and reality in life can be more pleasant for all Africans. So I mean, African Americans bringing value, things of values, you know, to Africa. If Africans, if African government and if Africans were like setting up the groundwork. Okay, like take for instance, a few years back, Jerry Rollins stated that African Americans can go to Ghana, you know, go to Ghana and resettle and all the. But what's the groundwork? What are they really doing to help these people that are coming back or are coming to resettle? You know, they just coming with their own resources and all of that, and just come and settle, and then after a certain time they enter into a whole lot of problem and just turn around and come back. No, you see, there must be like a resource the government set up, you know, to be able to help the people coming back, and in that way, the people coming back will be able to, you know, help. A lot of African Americans, even going to Africa, resettling and so forth. A lot of them have a lot of like potential, but the government can't hardly use them. They don't even have jobs. Sometimes they come to Africa and they have to be entrepreneurs, set up their own businesses and do other stuff, you know, to be able to survive. But that should be changed. You see, I mean, you have to build. The locals have to build trust, and the people that going back, African American, also has to build trust. You know, they trust one another and work with one another. They can change. They'll be able to change things. You know, that's my take, D. You know.
Yeah. What about you?
It's not really the matter a matter of trust issue.
What about you, Mike?
Hey, Dennis, man. Uh, I'll put it this way, man. The person that's asking that question, I think the person is coming from this whole thing that goes on in diaspora, this whole African versus African American crap. You know, I think that's where that person is. That's the spectrum that person is speaking from. Like, oh, Africans don't trust African Americans. First of all, in the concept of Africa, to be honest, like people don't even know anything about the diasporas. People don't know, like in Nigeria, for example, most people don't know anything about Black Americans except the entertainment and
Right.
what they see on TV, and it's nothing but cool to them. So they don't really. There's no engagement between Black American and the continent as far as this really deep or though they have history in Liberia or something like that. But as far as Africans on a daily basis having knowledge of Black America, for someone to even conclude that Africans don't trust Black Americans, that's a stupid thing.
Right.
Now, I think I know where they're coming from. They're coming from the relationship here in America, how the situation here in America, how people, the issue of community belonging and things like that. You understand? I think that's what those people that are talk, and that thing frustrates me a lot when people relate to Africans and African American America relate to the Africans that are here in America and use their relationship to base the conclude on the judge to make a conclusion of how the continental Africans think. You understand what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, there is no such thing as Africans versus African American. That shit is bullshit. There are fools versus fools. There are people that had experiences, individual experiences that were negative, and they develop this negative conclusion of one another. And I'll put it this way, man. Like I mentioned in the past, there is no leadership in the Black world as far as African American community. There's no leadership. Now, the situation in America is this: there's no African American versus African. There is culture versus culture. You understand? When you travel to another society, you get cultural shock. You understand? In the African culture, there's a lot of things that are taboos. You understand? When it comes to America, those things that are taboo happen to be part of the Black American cultures. You understand?
Can you give us an example? Give us an example.
Okay. In African society, the way African view attitude, you understand? Like one of the main pillars of African culture is to have a positive attitude, to be morality is very strong in culture. Morality, you understand? Morality as far as how you speak, especially sexual. For example, when I first came to America in high school, I sat down and the first week in classroom, and I saw these two African American girls talking about how they had sex with their boyfriend, and I was like, "Whoa!" I never heard that on this guy because I've never heard anything like that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in Nigeria, like girls, even boys don't even talk about this, like those kind of things. Because in African culture, the morality is very strong. You understand? So
Right.
when I come over here, they start. But in the Western culture, it's normal. A lot of things are very normal in Western culture. You understand?
Right.
A lot of behaviors are very normal. Like even the way people, like I say, the way African Americans talk to one another, like, hey, they can insult each other. You can have a bad attitude as long as it's not towards
Right.
one person. Everybody think it's okay, it's normal. You understand? So when Africans come and they start experiencing their culture, they are really, shocked, and then it's really like they're experiencing a taboo, also from the society. So rather than trying to understand that, listen, man, of course, this is a different society. This is the way it is. Let me learn to accept it, and not because it's a taboo where I'm from doesn't mean I have to now hold it against these people. You understand? So the difference is cultural, and I'm sitting down to understand it. Like I said, ignorant. Like you see people, you see a cultural shock, and you're reacting to the culture. So what's going on is people are not using wisdom to engage one another. That's the problem with the issue within Black Americans and the Africans that live in America. Now, to think you said in the past that somebody made a statement that don't bring your Western bullshit to Africa.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's just stupid because once an African American go to Africa and they experience a different culture, it'll be also be surprised. Wow, it's different over here. The way things is different. This seems to, and then he can actually put both on the table and say, okay, which one should I throw out? Which one should I keep? Which one? And an African American go to Africa and see that, over here, these people here, their moral system is a little different from the hood where I come from. He's not stupid enough to start saying, oh, let me just violate their moral code over here. Of course, as soon as you get there, you see that, okay, it's different now. And it's just, everybody do. When you go to a different society, of course, you quickly see that their culture here, their moral ways of doing things is different. So, of course, you want to assimilate, adapt to it. So the whole issue is just people not using wisdom. They're not using wisdom to understand. Like I said, Black people, we don't take study issues. We just react. We see things, we just take it for face value. We see situations, we don't take time to study and understand it. Like I said, I came to America too. I was shocked. I was shocked by the culture. But then when I took my time to really start to study and understand Black America, and I understand it, oh wow, this is the way things are. This is the way, and you cannot blame somebody for their own culture, for their culture. I cannot leave Africa and come to America and then be mad at somebody for their culture. If I don't like it, I'll go back to Africa. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not going to hold Black American culture against them. That's their culture. I can advise. You understand? Like when I disagree with I'm not saying a lot of Black American culture. I don't personally agree with a lot of part of the culture. Many part of the culture I love, but some part of it I don't agree. But I'm not going to hate. If I want to engage an African American to say, listen, man, I think your culture can be better in this area, I don't go in a disrespectful way. I sit down and say, listen, man, I think this part of your culture, I think if it was this way, I think things might be better. What do you think? I get a dialogue. There's something called diplomacy. Our people need to learn something called diplomacy. You have to learn to be diplomatic. I think Blacks, we're just not diplomatic. When we want to discuss with ourselves, whenever we disagree, there are ways to come at each other and talk about it without just, reacting to the negative and just allowing our emotions to get it, There are many things about Africa that you disagree. There are ways to sit down and talk as civilized people. And like, hey, there's something about your culture. There's something about how your people do things that I think can be better. And I think it's very destructive. And to be respectful, I think there are better ways to go. And if I don't have a solution, if I don't have a propose to something, a problem, I'd rather shut up, man. I'm not gonna approach people and start saying, "Hey, man, your culture is fucked up. You guys are jacked up people. Look at you. You're a bunch of fucking this and that. You bunch of drug dealers." I mean, I'm not. That's disrespectful, dude. What am I trying to accomplish? You know, I'd rather sit down and say, "My brother." I mean, I lived in the hood before, and I didn't like things that was going on, and I would sit down with. And to me, when I engage people, I don't engage. I sit down with someone that's reasonable. You know, you understand? Like when I want Black America, I don't go engage someone that's trouble. You know, that's why you see me. I engage someone like I'm not gonna go engage people like Yvette Cornell and all those crazy people, man. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to work with Black Americans, I find the people, the right people to work with. You know.
Hey, now, Thomas, you're from Liberia, correct?
Yes, yes.
Now, are you America? Or are you indigenous? Are you mixed?
I'm America.
You're America. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, again, I've been spending a lot of time setting the record straight on Liberia. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people use the excuse Black Americans shouldn't go back to Africa and help build because of Liberia. What are your thoughts on when people make that comment?
Well, the thing is, Black Americans started Liberia, you know, as from I mean, from a historical perspective, uh, African Americans from here went overseas, you know, and started what is known as Liberia, and they were small in majority. They were the minority, of course, and they happened to like because of their knowledge, their wisdom, and their desire to excel, you know, they made Liberia what it was, a thriving nation, you know, amongst the community of the world. But I mean, and all of that came as a result of African American efforts and people of African American descent, you know, and so forth. So
Hey, Dan,
halting us,
sorry, man. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, like stopping African American from going over to Africa and even to Liberia, you know, you know it it don't make a whole lot of sense. You see, uh, take for instance, you see, a lot of the you know, even I study and do research on a lot of the different African countries. You know, a lot of our leaders and government officials and so forth. A lot of those leaders and government officials, they are not knowledgeable to the extent, you know, where they could be able to like run their own affairs and but when you from the outside looking inward and you see all of that going on, but you try to correct that, you know, they feel that you meddling, and you know, and that's the same spirit that is protruding all over Africa and causing that, you know, causing all these different confusions and all and what have you. But I think the key rests with the African leaders, you know, the key rests with African leaders who are visionaries to look beyond, to look beyond what other people are looking at, in the near. They need to be visionary to look beyond and see, like take for instance, Dana,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bob, yeah, Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson
Yeah,
went to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Liberia.
How's the hotel doing? The Bob Johnson.
The last time I checked, they told me he was about to sell to,
No.
and pull out of Liberia. I don't know the full extent to how that transpired, but Yeah, they say he was about to sell out. But like what Bob Johnson said, Liberia is ripe for much development. You see, but if the government over there will focus and like open the country up, and I mean provide by providing the necessary by providing the necessary infrastructure and and key stuff that we build the country, I mean, and they should have like a check and balance system, that those who in power, they're not just involving a whole lot of corruption and all kind of malfeasance and all the kind of stuff, but they're doing the right thing. I mean, I think the country will be able to open up, and more could be done in Liberia, as far as like African American coming in, helping develop, and all. I mean, even before the war, the Liberian War, I mean, there were a lot of African Americans in Liberia. The African American presence in Liberia was high, but as a result of the war, everybody left and all the kind of stuff. But I mean, it will be a good thing, that African Americans, can come in, form ties with the locals and help develop the country. There are a lot of potential. There are too much. That's too much potential, even all around Africa. You see, there are too many potential. Like look at Ghana. You look at Rwanda. You see, Rwanda presently even doing well. In economic terms. Despite their horrendous past. The genocide and the war that went on but they're doing. And Rwanda is way yana bigger than Liberia. I mean, way yana smaller than Liberia. You see, I mean, and if they can do it, Liberia should be able to do it. You see, and because of politics, a lot of things. I mean, a lot of politics is not stopping development progress, infrastructure, and what have you, from coming over there.
Hey, somebody in the chat room brought up corruption. This question is for you, Mike, and then you can answer comments after Mike.
Yeah.
People are worried about, hey, if I invest heavily into Africa, I have to deal with corruption. People being dishonest, not up front, not being honorable. What would be your response to that?
You made corruption in Africa?
Yeah, for people who want to invest. They're afraid of being screwed over, overcharged, or whatnot.
To be honest, I mean, as far as my focus on diaspora coming to Africa, I think my main focus would be the diasporans engaging Africans on an Africanist sense. As far as investment goes, yeah, you can do business, but whatever you want to go do business, study the environment first. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think if what they got going on in Ghana is good, like if Black Americans want to bring a diaspora energy, I would say you come and form a community and environment first. Like they're doing, like if you say we don't want to come do something in Nigeria, you got to come there and form a community first. As an individual, if you say you just want to come into Nigeria as an individual and do business, you can become successful, but you have to be smart. You have to know your game, know your stuff. There's opportunity, but to me, I don't think what the best thing that diaspora can come from Africa is just to come and start invest. Yeah, you can come. Anybody can. Nigerians or Africans themselves already got we have educated people. We have that's not an issue of the problem of Africa. Africa is first of all get our system straight, and that's the first thing I think we should deal with before we can even start saying we want to start investing or nation building. To me, I think the best thing the diaspora can do is to first engage Africa and build communities in Africa and build establish communities and penetrate the political system. You understand? Like you guys are doing in Ghana right now. Like Black Americans are picking ground in Ghana. You understand? And you guys are bringing, if they can do more, and I think those one in Ghana kind of pulling back a little bit. They don't want to get too deep, but eventually, I don't know if Ghana suffer from a lot of tribal mistrust because Ghana's never had really tribal war in the past, war in the recent past that Europeans created. So Kwame Nkrumah was able to unite Ghanaians, I think. So, but I think the best place that the Black American community that they have in Ghana, if we had the same thing in Nigeria, I think it would have been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Black Americans have better things, or they have more to offer. The same community they have in Ghana, if you guys had in Nigeria, I think you guys would offer a lot. You guys have a lot to offer in Nigeria as far as you guys can unite the Nigerians, actually. You know, the Ghanaians already united, so you guys are there just to kind of add to it. But I think we need the energy, the unifying energy in most African countries, especially those countries that have suffered wars in the past, which has created a sense of mistrust among tribes. If we can get like a third party that has nothing to do with the past, be that community come in and bring their opinion in different lights to the environment, I think they'll do a lot, you know. So if we can have because in Nigeria right now, the tribes are just trying to get back to, you know, trusting each other in the political end because they've had like I said, we had a civil war past. 5 million people lost their lives, you know, and we need that community that can come and just bring a different light. You understand? So I think the Black Americans have a lot of offers. So countries like Nigeria, even Kenya, because Kenya they have a lot of ethnic mistrust. You know? And hey, to address I was going to say something earlier about the whole Liberian issue.
Right.
In the past,
Go ahead.
I would say like history should be something that we learn, we take a lesson from, and not something that we act on. You understand?
Oh yeah.
The question is very important that we write books about it and we talk about it. I see talk about it a lot, and we trying to do research on what happened and what lessons to be learned to learn from it. Not only Liberia, it all connects to most Africans' recent past, pre-colonial and post-colonial Africa. We all need to do and educate ourselves about things that happen. Because if we do not educate ourselves about it, the history will repeat itself. You understand? Now, the lesson to learn from the Liberian situation was this. The Black Americans came with the same energy that I'm talking about, right? The energy of, new nation, right? And they came. They succeeded. Beautiful. Now, what wasn't what one thing that wasn't existing when they came, when they were doing it, was Pan-Africanism. You get it?
Right.
So when and when they came, they were there. Actually, I think United States was very involved in Liberia because during that time there was a lot of competition between countries as far as Africa goes. So Liberia was like a key ally for the United States. So the United States was pretty much involved in Liberia, and the blacks diaspora that came to Liberia were there as allies of the U.S., but they still had the history in the back of their mind, right? So when Pan-Africanist movement began, when Kwame Nkrumah and all those guys, when Africans started, clamoring for independence and all those things, and the whole Pan-Africanist movement became, the moment the the diasporans in Liberia started engaging the Pan-Africanists, which was the enemy of the whites, the Pan-Africanism was the enemy of Europeans. So that's when the problem began. It was not only in Liberia. The 60s, the late 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, there was a war against Pan-Africanism going on in Africa by Europeans, whereby they started creating wars. They started turning tribes against each other. They started creating divide and conquer tactics, right? Whereby whoever is ruling and is pro-Pan-Africanism, those leadership, they'll figure a way to overthrow them, right? And way to do it is by pushing out propaganda. And the mistake Africa made was to allow Europeans to be in their presence and be controlling the media and then the radio or their TV. It is today, Europeans still control the media in Africa, most medias. They control it. Now, they'll start using the media to preach ethnic propaganda. They did it in the Congo. It was only Liberia that had ethnic, the whole thing that started. They did it in the Congo against Patrice Lumumba, where they raised a guy called, I think he's Moise Chombe. I think that's his name. When Patrice Lumumba started answering West, was part of the PanAfricanists, they decided to guy different tribe and say, listen, man, this guy, he's from a different tribe. The resources is from your area, so we should give you a weapon. Go take him out because he's marginalizing your people. He's not. He's being unfair. It's corrupt. You know, Europeans work with Moise Chombe to assassinate Patrice Lumumba.
Right.
In Nigeria, we had a pro-Pan-Africanism going on as well, and Kwame Nkrumah was one leading all these things. By the way, they began all. So they did the same thing. They call a group of Igbo soldiers and told them that, listen, man, this Hausa. Hello? Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Who?
Yeah.
I hear you.
So
Yeah.
they would use to preach propaganda that these Hausa guys that are ruling, they are marginalizing your people, and they'll pay guys. They'll use the propaganda on the radio, preaching all these ethnic things just to divide the people, and they will convince some people. In fact, the assassinations usually ordered by the Europeans. They usually find a guy in the army, a illiterate soldier in the army, and pay him money, organize people, and assassinate the person. And they'll make sure they put it in a way where it looks like it's an ethnic base. It's a tribal base, whereby it creates these tribal problems. Whereby, why would you guys come assassinate one of? And in Africa, people are so passionate about the tribes. You come and assassinate somebody from the tribe, they want to retaliate. So in Liberia, they saw the Liberian situation like, okay, these people are becoming Pan-Africanism, and it's a threat. This is a country we have to control. And they say, okay, if you're going to do that, we got to take you out. So they will look for guys in the military and say, listen, man, you need to go out there and preach the campaign of these guys are marginalizing us. And what the group in Liberia happened to be the diaspora group. So the thing that happened in Liberia is not peculiar to Liberia. It happened all over Africa during the same period of time. The 80s, the 70s, 80s. It started in the late 60s with Kwame Nkrumah. They did the same thing. They preached the same thing against Kwame Nkrumah. Like, Kwame Nkrumah is, I don't know if it was Ashanti. Europeans, they do it. They're in our midst, causing divide and conquer. And we need to look at those past and decide to start documenting and start learning from it. Because the same ethnic propaganda that was used to cause those divide and conquer and the civil wars is the same thing as in the minds of so many people today. That tribes, people are holding that against, whereby tribes don't want to get along because of what happened. You see where I'm coming from, Dynasty? And
yeah.
Black Americans need to be careful because I'm hearing people now say, Black American went to Liberia and beat Liberia, and the Liberians killed them. We need to be careful how we're putting things, the context of where we are put in the situation of the past. We need to go study and do our own work and put things in a proper context. So if we start looking things just on a simple, just on the face value, based on just, without doing research, we're going to misunderstand ourselves and we're going to judge history wrongly. We're going to see it as, in Liberia, the tribe Liberia killed Black Americans. That's very dangerous. We need to be careful. What happened had nothing to do with Africans killing Black Americans. It has nothing to do with it. It was nothing but CIA and the Europeans looking out for the interest, paying group of soldiers to go take out this guy and create a propaganda that, hey, we took him out because he was from a different group. That's what they did in Nigeria. They paid a group of Igbo soldiers to go assassinate the Hausa leader. And on the radio, the funny thing in Nigeria back then, we had a BBC radio, and they were broadcasting on the radio, preaching propaganda that those soldiers want to assassinate the Hausa guy because he was an Hausa. And it became a civil war. And the Hausa group of Hausa soldiers who got to retaliate, and they did a counter coup and assassinated Igbo leader and started shooting some Igbos, and everything snowballed into civil war. We lost millions of lives. Guess what? What happened back then was never documented. It wasn't even taught in school. So we're not learning history. Most of us are not learning our history. And if we don't do it, the dangerous thing is that it's going to repeat itself. You get where I'm going? So way forward is for us to forget the idea that we hate each other. We need to dump that. Nobody hate anybody. Pan-Africanism is the way forward. All propaganda to divide us was a war against Pan-Africanism in the first place. When Kwame Nkrumah started Pan-Africanism was when this whole ethnic thing began. And who started creating this propaganda? Were Europeans. Using some Africans that would pay money to go carry out propaganda, preach this. Oh, go out there and preach that my tribe is doing this and that and that and that, and go and let's start a civil war and let's make it let's call it a tribal war. And we need to learn from the past and teach our children what happened and the truth. In order for us, if we want to have a future, that's the way forward. These people hate me. Thing needs to stop. If the black race want to have a future, we have to stop this. Who hate these people? These people don't trust these people. There will always be bad people. There will always be good people. Good people need to get together and see each other as good people and figure a way to rescue the black race. That's the only thing I can say. Yeah. I go out there on a daily basis. I experience black Americans. They're very nasty to me. And I will never say because of that, I hate black Americans. Because I have the wisdom that among my people, Nigerians, they're bad people. So I don't hate Nigerians because we have bad people among us. So why should I hate black Americans? Because they have bad people among them. Yeah. That's the thing. Sorry.
No, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish. I was going to ask Brother Cooper a question.
Yeah. There's a saying that in life, if you're looking for a demon, you're going to find a demon. If you're looking for an angel, you're going to find an angel. If you go out there among a group of people and you're looking for a demon, you're going to find it. If you go among a group of people and looking for somebody that don't like you, you're going to find that person. Medicine. Go among people and you're looking for someone that likes you, you're going to find it. When I go in a mix of, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people like Dynast. I'm not going around for a woman like Yvette Cornell or some of these African or Hebrew Israelites. I don't look for people like that because I want to work with black Americans and I cannot work with those demons. I got to work with the angels among them because I care about black America. I need African need black Americans more than African American is Africa. So we have to find a way to get together and work together and understand that the bad ones are always going to be around and we cannot take them too seriously.
Guys, let's get the let's go ahead and get the likes up. We have 137 people watching, only 94 likes. Please hit that like button. Also, let me give a couple shout outs to the super chats. Damon Amajoy, appreciate it. I know that's a Nigerian brother. Also, Tony Robbins, thank you so much for the super chat. Inoret, thank you so much for the super chat. From Gariga, thank you for the super chat. Lost Star, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Brother Cooper, what are Black Americans missing out on if they're not considering investing in Africa or bringing value to Africa?
I think there's a lot of opportunities, Dennis. You know, I mean, and what I see is African leaders need to actually, you know, just take for example, look at country like such as Angola, Gabon, Botswana. You know, they've already reached like a upper middle class nation. You see, they've already reached that. Okay, you know, like Africans looking at African American next.
Hello. Hello, you there, Thomas? I think we might have lost the brother. Mike, go ahead and answer that question, Mike. We wait for the brother.
What was the question?
What are Black Americans missing out on by not investing or considering or attempting to add value to them?
Tell you what Black Americans are missing out. They're missing out on what a lot of Nigerians that live in America are doing. A lot of Nigerians that live in America and Africans in general, what they do is many of them become rich by their using a U.S. or passport.
Mm-hmm.
Now they live in America, right? They will ship things from America.
Yeah,
let me tell you, Dennis.
Yeah, go ahead.
My system went off.
Oh, went off. Are you okay? You're back now. What we'll do, we'll let Mike finish and then we'll come back to you, Brother Cooper.
Right.
Dennis, what Black America is missing is what white America has been enjoying for a long time when it comes to Africa. Dude. My older brother, right, used to work at a dealership, right? A car dealership, right? And the owner of the dealership wanted to engage him. He said, "Where you from?" He said, "I'm from Nigeria." I was like, "Ooh." And he said to my older brother, he said, "Listen, man, my first millions, I made it in Nigeria. The first dealership I opened was in Nigeria because when I wanted to start a leadership, there was so much competition for me in America. Leadership was difficult to start selling like used cars. So I started doing the research and I found out like Nigeria has a huge population and they really don't have that person in America that can ship cars to Nigeria to sell. You understand? It's a white man talking, right? And he knew that with his American passport, he's able to go into Nigeria, and with American having the diplomatic, agreement and being an American, he easily can go anywhere, So he went to Nigeria and looked and saw the mass population. A white man, that's what I'm talking about. And he started a dealership in Nigeria, hired some Nigerian. So he would ship his cars from America to Nigeria. And he's opened a dealership there. That's a white man, white American. He said this was, I think, in the 80s or the 90s, I'm not sure. And he became a millionaire. It's a white man I'm talking about. An African American could have done that. He could find it easier to do. And his main struggle was that when he went to, he was a white man, and his white skin was his struggle. You understand? Like being a white man to trying to figure his way around and trying to, because you stand out when you're white. And an African American could have easily done the same thing and become wealthy. So there are opportunity in the world. The world has become a global village. You need to find. You need to start thinking globally and not locally. Start thinking like everybody else. You can make it anywhere in the world. I see some African American young friends that I have that they've given up because they'll tell me something like, "Hey man, I can't get a job because I'm a convict." You get it?
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Listen, man, if America is," I told one of my friends, I said, "Listen, man, if I become a convict and I get in your situation and I can't find a job, dude, I'm going back to Nigeria, dude. I mean, fuck it, it's not nothing for me here anymore."
Right.
You can't give up on your life because America has used a system to finish you. The world is bigger than America, my friend. You can make it anywhere in the world,
Right.
Go and see the world. Make friends with people from different countries and different society, and try to know. You probably can. Maybe your destiny is to become a billionaire. Sitting here in America, listening to all these American politicians lying to you that there's nothing greater than America. America is a shit. It's everything. It's heaven and hell. You can. I had a friend, even Nigerian. I had Nigerian two brothers. One of them was convicted of crime, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm going back to Nigeria." He went back to Nigeria today. He's a millionaire, and his brother is here in America, still struggling. So you can make it anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? People need to start thinking globally and forget. And negativity is another problem with a lot of people. Negativity. People are more like them saying negative things. Like, okay, why? Stop asking why you cannot do something. Ask why you can't. You understand? Believe that you can do something. Stop saying, giving yourself a reason why you cannot do something. Don't say, oh, I can't go there. That mentality has to change. People need to learn to stop thinking positively. And if you want to engage other people as well, stop thinking of the negatives, man. Like some people will say, I'm not engaging with Nigerians because I work with a Nigerian person and it was very nasty to me. That's stupid. That's negative. You know, you, you gotta engage people, dude. You don't know where the person is gonna open the door for the success for you. You gotta engage people. Swallow your pride. Stop this. I'm different from you, so I can't talk to you. I can't engage you. I can't be friends with you. This is 2018. We need to drop this old mentality, man, and forget inferiority and superiority. Forget thinking that someone is better than you or someone. It doesn't matter, dude. You don't try to be inferior or superior to anyone. Just be yourself and try to live a good life. That's it. I'm not interested in whether someone is better than me or not better than me. I'm not interested in that. You know, I'm interested in making a difference. I'm interested in seeing things that are fucked up in the life in my society or with my people, and trying to do a better for the generation that are coming behind us. You know.
All right, Tom. So we'll go back to you.
Yeah, D, like I was saying, like I named several countries, like Angola, like Gabon, Botswana, they've already reached like upper level, upper mid income level, and
Right.
that's why we call here like a middle class. You see, and what other African countries need to do, other African leaders, what they need to do is to address the different challenges they're having. Like if they can address the challenges of infrastructure, like the human capital development and all, and manage some of the resources well, then the resources, and also abolish corruption. That send a sign, and these countries are named like Angola, Gabon, Botswana. Those are some of the steps they're taking, and you having people from other places coming in, as investors, as developers and all that kind of stuff, working, and I mean, if a lot of these African leaders can address these problems, our brothers and sisters from like the states who are being for years and years and years stigmatized because they're black, and all the kind of stuff. But I mean, our brothers and sisters can come in. I mean, they have a lot of talent, they have a lot of ability, but they can also come in and bring those talents and abilities and so forth, and put it to work for themselves and for African. But I mean, there has to be a understanding. The people they have to have some sort of economic base, that the government provide and that the people provide, in a sense to help each other. They got to do that, and they can't do it alone. You see, the government oversee in these different African countries. They have to have accountability and all of that. If they don't, I mean, I don't see no way of a person coming from the state to go to Africa to. I mean, if he even do it, he will only be doing it on a one-on-one basis, just for himself, to but like if they all work together for the common good of all Africa and African Americans, Africa will be radically changed. I believe that, there are a lot of opportunities African Americans are missing on because the local leaders are not taking the initiative, you see, to work on what they need to work on. Instead, they're being corrupt, involving corruption and all sort of mischievous deeds. You see, if they were doing what they need to be doing and working on, I think there will be a lot of camaraderie, for African Americans and African as a whole to come together, to work together, and help one another. You see,
Hey,
like,
Yanis,
Go ahead, bro.
let me throw
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, let me throw something in. My advice, if you want to for anyone who want to engage Africa as far as diaspora, don't engage Africa as an individual country as a country. Engage communities. Engage because Africa is broken. They're broken. These countries, like I mentioned before, they were tribal nations prior to becoming a country, and that's still the reality till today. Every African country is unique, so I can't really speak for all the African countries, but there's probably similarities. But in Nigeria, for example, in each uh, communities, the most powerful people, influential people, are the traditional rulers, are the kings, right? If you want to engage Nigeria, for example, I'm not going to advise you go engage the politicians or engage the Nigerian government. Yeah, you are, as far as policy wise, as far as the law, the knowing, yeah, of course, get lawyers and know the rules and everything. But if you want to invest or do business in an environment, go and find who the king, the traditional ruler of the environment is, and engage the traditional rulers. For example, go to Nigeria. If you want to do business in the Yoruba land, I would say engage the army of Ife. If you want to do business in the middle belt of Nigeria, engage the Oba of Benin. That those engage the kingdoms, engage them, and find out what. One thing in business is this: they say problem equals opportunity, right? Whenever there's a problem, if you can find a solution, you become rich, right? Go to those environments and engage the traditional rulers, and they know everything about the environment. They know everything. The politicians don't know nothing about the environment. Trust me. The politicians, in the capital, just stealing money. They don't know nothing. Engage the traditional rulers and tell them, "Hey, I'm from the United States, and I want to invest in Nigeria. I want to invest in your community. What are the problems there? What are the things?" And you'll find out the problems that they have over there. You look at all the problems. One of them is you probably have a solution coming from America, or something in America you can bring over there, right, to solve their problem. And guess what? You're rich. So engage. Forget the politicians, man. Those guys don't know nothing. They don't know what's going on in the environment. They don't even they can't even get policies right. The people that are really, to be honest, people that are governing Africa are the traditional rulers. It's not the government. They're the one. They're the one producing. People are the one governing themselves. I'm telling you. In Africa, people are the one producing their own infrastructure, their own everything, even their own security. The traditional rulers are the one that are making sure the environment is everything is functioning. Culture, the traditional, everything is functioning well. Engage the traditional rulers. Anybody want to invest in Africa or engage Africa, whatever community. You know what? Let me speak for Nigeria because I don't know. I don't know too much about the dynamic of many African countries because I've never been there. But Nigeria, if you want to do business in Nigeria, you want to engage Nigeria, find out where the traditional rulers are or the traditional people in charge, because they're the one really running the community. They're the one really in charge of the environment. Engage them, and they have Nigerian kings. They have more influence over the politicians. They are more powerful than the politicians because every time we have election, the first people the politicians run to are the kings. They go bow down to the kings because if the king say, "I don't like you," guess what? Nobody from that tribe will vote for that politician. If the Oba in Yoruba land or the king in Igbo land does not like a particular politician, nobody from that tribe will vote for that politician. So these kings have power over the politicians, influence. In Nigeria, I don't know how it is in Liberia and other places, but in Nigeria, traditional rulers, constitutionally, yeah, no power. But as far as influential, as far as they're saying their word is very powerful. Go there, engage the local traditional people, and sit down and say, "Hey, I want to engage your community, your tribe, or your nation, your tribal nation. I want to invest it." And engage the other. Like if you go to Nigeria right now, you say you're gonna visit the only palace, go there, and Danny, this is the best time, man, to even engage Nigeria, dude, because the only right now, he's in Brazil. Black America need to engage Nigerians, man. They need to engage, especially Yorubas, man, because right now the only of Ife, the new Omni we just have, he's working very hard trying to unite the black race. So this is the best time to really come to Nigeria and work with this man, dude. If you look up, do you have internet? You can pull up something right now. Where you can look up something. I know you usually do it sometimes. Dennis.
My bad. Go ahead. Go. Yeah, I'm right here. Go ahead.
If you can type in only in Brazil, you'll see something. You probably can show the people just to show you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, type in only. You know how to spell only, right? I know you.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
in Brazil. You probably see videos of him in Brazil right now engaging the Afro-Brazilian community, because he's engaging the Afro-Brazilian community to trying to connect them to come or connect with Nigeria. Nigeria is a big market, dude. We have 180 million people. Then the example I gave you earlier about the white man that went to started his dealership in Nigeria so fast, because he noticed the population of Nigeria is the one place. That's why many Nigerians become rich very easily. If you can do something in Nigeria, become rich fast, because the population is there to. The population means market. So anything you engage in Nigeria, you become rich very fast. So, right now is the time for diaspora, because the diasporans, you coming in, and Europeans have been people that are making money out of Africa, just the Lebanese, the Chinese, the Europeans, and then we the Nigerians in diaspora advantage as well. We started like use our public go homes and ship something back and make money, but the diasporans need to start getting their own fair share of Africa, man. Like one area you guys can go into is tourism. Tourism is not a good area to go into. There's so many things. Even your culture, bring something, bring anything you bring, man, you can sell. You know, it's market. So there's a lot of opportunity in Africa, man. A lot of, and like I said, the easiest way, just don't. If you want to engage Africa, go find out who are the traditional rulers of their environment that you want to target, and that's the people you should engage. Forget the politicians, man. Those guys are a bunch of puppets, money-hungry criminals. Yeah, about nothing, you know. So traditional rulers are more interested in people that will come and invest in the environments. You understand?
Right.
Like the only for is really trying to engage the black diasporans and trying to connect the black. Were you able to pull up what I told you?
Yeah. I just showed everybody.
Yeah. You see. I don't know. I'm not able to see the video. You see how he's in Brazil and like.
Yeah. Let me pull up some video. I just pulled up an article. Let me hold on one second. Let's pull up some video. Here we go. Right here. 3 days ago. Let's see here. In fact, let me do this. Let me share the screen again. And after this, we'll go ahead and close out. Hold on one second. Pull this up. Here we go.
Crappy drawing of a pink bird thing. Ask your niece.
Skip this ad.
And get a professional.
All right, there we go.
So This is powerful. Yeah. So that's him in Brazil right now, like engaging Afro-Brazilians, you see? So that's a diaspora connection So for the sake of time, you know, I just kind of like
Yeah, man, that was powerful, bro. But what we'll do, Thomas, we'll start off with you. We'll go ahead and close out. How can people, if you want to, how can people reach out to you? How can they get in contact with you and all that good stuff?
You can find me on Facebook and through my email, tscoop1966@gmail.com.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, in leaving, I mean, I think there need to be more cross-continental discourse, on connecting Black African with African Americans, around the board. You see, I think that there need to be more cross-continental discourse. People need to talk about it. People need to learn. There are a lot African Americans need to do when it comes to learning about Africa and all the kind of stuff. And there are a lot they don't know, and a lot they need to know in order to be able to contribute, to the motherland. You see, there are a lot they can know, and there are a lot they can contribute. You see, that's what I think.
All right, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead and close out. Give everybody your contact information and anything else you want to share in closing.
Yeah. Only thing I can say is everybody need to understand that the continent of Africa is so wealthy. Like where I'm looking is way. I mean, the picture that I'm picturing is way bigger than anybody really imagine. And that's why I'm really into this Pan-Africanism. Africa is so wealthy that every Black person in this world, Africa is rich enough to make every Black human being on this planet be okay. To whereby no Black person in this planet is broke. That's how wealthy do you know how much resources are on top? Do you know how much minerals are even being discovered? It's not even touched yet. The continent is so wealthy, man. And the only thing is, until we get our heads together as people and understand that and be on that page that, listen, man, we need to be a future for the generation coming up where we won't have our children living in ghettos in America, going through depression, our children from Africa trying to flee Libya, Mediterranean, drowning, where poverty is just everywhere. Until we get that picture that, listen, we need to start building a future for our people. And without having the proper mindset, we're just gonna waste this generation, and the next generation will come be exactly where we at. And the European world just continue to look at us and laugh and like continue to just continue to say, oh, these Africans, man, like nobody will respect us, and all this demanding of respect, we need to stop it. We need to stop demanding respect, we need to earn respect, we need to stop crying about other race being racist to us. We need to look at ourselves and like, yo, how do we put ourselves in a position where someone can just hurt our feelings, we need to right now forget about who like us, who don't like us, or who's doing what to us. We need to stop protesting, all that stuff. We need to put that to sleep. Right now, forget about who don't like us. We need to focus on ourselves and focus on planning the future. And we need to, we're never going to do that if we, as a people ourselves, don't start looking at ourselves with a positive high. If we continue to see ourselves with negative highs and more focusing on what's wrong with us, more attacking ourselves based on our differences, that journey is not even going to start at all. We need to learn to forgive whatever is wrong with us, forgive our mistakes of the past. I see oh my God, man, some people are so petty to the point where they're angry about what happened to them as kids and in high school. Come on, man, all those kind of things. We need to, past should be a lesson. Anything past should be a lesson. History is designed for you to learn from. It's a lesson, not something to. It's something to take a lesson from, and the lesson you draw from it, you use it as a strength to create a better future. So that's what I can say in closing, man. And that is, honestly, I want to talk about one thing that's fucked up, man. Well, this is gonna be a whole different topic.
All right.
The Martin Luther King dream thing. I think Black American here to put it to, like I thought that thing is a setup, and they keep teaching it to Black American kids in school that this is a dream you should be following. The dream and that's all. That Martin Luther King was a great man, but that wasn't his intention. White people just took that soundbite or whatever you want to call it and start putting it in the minds of African American kids that your dream is one day you and your someone that's enslaved your forefathers, someone that's butchered you, that's lynched you, will sit on the table of brotherhood. I'm not saying sitting on the table of brotherhood is a bad thing, but that shouldn't be a dream. We should be teaching to our children that we should be looking forward towards the day that we'll be on the table of brotherhood with with white supremacists and we're drinking tea. That's not a dream we should be preaching to African American children. That dream needs to die, man. The dream we should be preaching to them is the day we'll have our freedom to be on our own, governing ourselves, where Black Americans will be governing themselves, where they don't need anyone to lie. They just need to have a community where Black men, Black women are in love with one another, good functioning household, good community where you don't need to run away from your own neighborhood to try to move to another person's neighborhood because you're afraid, where your neighborhood is an envy. It's a place everybody want to come live. That's the dream we should be selling to African American children. Not a dream that one day white man will love me and sit down and drink tea with me. That's a bad dream. So that's a whole different topic. I just kind of want to throw that out there.
Oh, we could definitely cover it on another show. But everybody, again, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Everyone who super chatted, thank you so much for super chatting. Make sure you go to search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also go to dynasamir.com, africapersonified.africa, Amazon.com, search your name, Dynasty Samir. Please buy a book. Again, everybody, till next time, peace.
Thanks, Dan.